And we're back. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna do my best to not look down at my computer at my OBS and watch my face in this stream. Here's what I could do. I could pop out the chat. Okay, and that way I can minimize this. And it won't be so bad. Oh, that's so much better. That's like a million times better. So we're back, guys. Let me know how the music is going. I don't want it to be like oppressive, obviously, because like that's super annoying. Zap, what's up, dude? Malachi, let's go. Let's go. Glad to see you, man. Thank you for coming in. We're gonna start off today discussing what happened last night. Please let me know how the music is. If it's too soft, because I heard it's too soft, I can turn it up. If it's too noisy, which sometimes on the YouTube playback, it's so loud, so much louder than the stream, that like it encourages me to kind of keep the sound down. Yeah. Hello, Vic. What's up, dude? Excellent. The boys are in the chat. Yeah, we had a good time last night. I had a good time last night. There were some lulls. I feel like the tension wasn't as high as the first session, and that might be because of the violence that happened like within the first 20 minutes, and like everybody just dropped, and so at that point it's like all the tension's gone. It's like, oh, okay, maybe there was like a hopeless feeling, but I'm glad you guys stuck it out. Yeah, we're gonna give it just a few minutes, let people hop in, and then yeah, we are going to discuss what happened last night in AD&D. So I did the numbers, and I was like, okay, October 2022 is when the campaign started, and today's like November. I think whenever I ran the numbers, it was like November 15th or something, and I put it into ChatGPT, and I was like, ChatGPT, how many days has it been? Because I didn't want to do like mental math. I was just like, tell me the number. And it was like 600 or something. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just trusted that number. Didn't think about it at all. Like, that makes no sense. 3 years cannot be 600. And then, like, I was looking at the number. I was like, wait a second. My blog post from over a year ago was at like 650. How could that be right? And so I went back and I was like, ChatGPT, you're an idiot. So, yeah, we're at like, I can't even remember now, like 1,400 days. In the campaign, and very recently we have reinvigorated the game with opening it up to channel members, and let me tell you, they have not disappointed. The original team, they're in the Chinese chat group. Hello, hey mom, my mom is here, guys. And they're kind of like whispering to each other in the chat. Like, you guys did get to play with one of those dudes, but a majority of them aren't able to play right now. And so they're like, oh man, what are these new guys going to do? How are they going to shake up the world? And I was texting them, and I was like, guys, if you don't seize this opportunity, they're going to walk away with all the treasure from this nearby dungeon. And like, you got to make moves. What is up, Michael? What is up, dude? Hey, mom. Yeah, thanks for coming in, guys. I know it's a little late over there, but it's early over here. So Roxy and I are going to go on a date. We're going to get some American barbecue because we like to do that every once in a while. And then we're going to check out this new bookstore that popped up. It's a massive tower. And I don't know how many like levels of it are going to be English books, but it's no joke. The place is huge. So Jack, dude. Zero cool. Is she proud? I hope so. Mom, what do you think? She's like, yeah, I'm so proud of you. Taps my head. Yeah, Jack, dude, so glad you could make it, man. Oh, that's true, right? You're on the West Coast, Best Coast. Forgot about that. Again, can you guys give me some feedback? Do you hear any music at all? Because on the live play on YouTube, it is loud. I can hear it. Here's the thing, Jack. If I turn this into a phone call, it just kind of crashes out, bro. Yeah, the whole connection just crashes out because it's trying to broadcast and like host at the same. I don't know why it's really frustrating because I can't ever host a stream. I have to like I can go to other people's streams, but I can't ever like host people because it's just like the you know. You hear a little music. Okay, Malachi. Yeah, Malachi. No. Okay, we're gonna keep it at about this level then, just so like it's a faint sound in the background because I don't want it like blasting people's ears off. So, guys, last night's session, not bad at all. I haven't done the write-up yet. It is not blocked. Dungeon Delver asked, is StreamYard blocked there? It is not blocked. I can connect, and like whenever I'm on stream with Harmony or Dunder, the connection's fine. I can hop in and like chat with other people. It's whenever I host the call in StreamYard, that's when it gets laggy. Yeah, you don't have the best ears. Yeah, but you do have the sharpest mind, Michael. Keep that in mind, okay? Vic can hear the music just fine. Very good. Music's good if I listen to my headphones. On the screen speakers, I can barely hear anything. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a fair compromise then. I am okay with that compromise. So, let's talk about AD&D, what happened yesterday. We'll do a quick little recap of the campaign. I was mentioning how the original team, they're looking at making a move because they're jealous. The new guys are getting all the treasure. They've hauled in 2 big hauls, 2 different days over the past week. And so everybody's jealous now. They're going to make some moves. Oh, we have some gifted memberships from, of course, the man, the myth, the legend. My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. My boy. Dude, thank you. I'm sure all these... Elliot Vernon got a member. That's really cool. God of Moxie got one. Awesome. Yeah, he is an MVP. You're right, Vic. Yeah, so the original team, they're going to be making moves. I don't know if they're going to be very interested in the dungeon that you guys are doing, but you did say, and Zap mentioned that he told the guards that there was a dragon in that dungeon, and so they might be interested, but they have their own machinations, and like I don't see them dropping everything that they've been planning to go after another dungeon. We'll see, but dragon hordes are dragon hordes, Says, just talking about the lag angered the lag gods. I've never gotten chop watching. Oh, it's here now. Oh, no. Guys, I'm sorry. I am very sorry. Oh, I'm getting beeps, too. It's telling me that it's not connecting, I guess. I am sorry for the poor connection. Let's see if we can smooth it out in any way. If there's anything I can do. Frustration. Sorry, guys. Hopefully it can kind of like stabilize, but I'm going to keep talking as if it is stable, and yeah, and then we'll see how it goes. I think it just kind of fixed a little bit. Vic says, I mean, I know it might not be good nor lawful, but maybe trapping the front might be an idea. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if that is necessarily an evil act. I mean, people lock their doors all the time. They protect their homes with weapons and traps if they're crazy. But I mean, like barbed wire fences, in a sense, is an obstacle to get through. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything illegal about that, but you don't own it. And so just keep in mind that, like, if you set the trap, let me know, and then the other players will have to deal with that. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Mr. Delver. Yeah, I'll chop it up into little bits, and then I will send it, like, I'll post it on YouTube. I'm sorry, guys. The stream, isn't always great. Yes, Zap says he had to inform the guards because it's his duty. Oh man, I really hate that it's like I really hate that the stream's choppy, guys. That's too bad, man. Ugh. Yeah. Jack says we're winning. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I gotta change the chat. instead of top chat, I want it to be live chat so I can see everybody as they are posting stuff. Broken glass on the top of walls. It's the reverse Delver effect for turning down the original guest appearance. I will never turn down a guest appearance, and we have been talking. We are going to try to make that happen. So, oh no, the bags of treasure we left in the statue room, they will take it all. No, you guys got all that. You guys, it will go accounting towards the gems that you took. So they went in. Let me tell you guys what happened. They went in, and within the first room, they were pretty good because the little blue guys, which I can now say are Zvarts, were responding to what they did last week. They set up some traps, and it was some hornets that they had strung up and tied off, basically. And if anybody tried to like break through the entrance, the hornets would slam down, fly out, and then cover them in wasp stings. And that was like the plan, but the players were pretty clever. They maneuvered a way to kind of like lower it down and gently set it to the hornet's nest into some bags, so that way they could use these hornets against their enemies, which, spoiler alert, they never did. I was surprised they didn't just like immediately like throw them into a room, close the door. It just never happened. It was stop motion for a little bit, but it's okay now. Okay, that's cool. Oh, thank goodness, because there's nothing makes me like so like cringy and uncomfortable than like talking to the chat, and it's just like not working. So they got through that pretty quickly, which is great, but then they hit a random encounter in the very next room. So I started describing the room just like I always do, because I have like a little description to remind me excuse me, to remind me to give them clues. So if you're going through a dungeon and you just say, there's a door to the left, there's a door to the right, which one do you choose? Your players really don't have any information to go off of. And so in my descriptions that I write up, I will put at least one sensory effect by each door. So that way the players can make an informed decision. And so I'm reading off this description, and then I roll the random encounter because I see that they've traveled enough distance to trigger it. And immediately they hit a maximum number of Zvarts, 15 Zvarts in an encounter on level 1. And I roll the reaction, and it's a 97 on the reaction roll. And so I'm like, okay, these little guys are serving their master. They are chaotic evil, so there was like a little bit of a subtraction from the reaction. But still, that's a mostly favorable reaction roll. And so I was like, okay, they're going to communicate. They're going to negotiate. And so I'm like reading the description. I'm like, oh yeah. And there's also 15 Varts in here, and they are speaking to you in a chaotic evil language. But since nobody could understand, you didn't leave the 2 bags there. Oh, those bags. I was thinking about like how you guys tied off the pole arm, the 10-foot pole with the bags. No, you got it, Zap. I got you. I got what you're going for. Sorry. Yeah, they did leave the hornets behind. But actually, technically right now, you guys are in the dungeon because we did push ahead one day. And so right now you guys are in the dungeon delving around, but sometime by the end of the night, I'm going to be sending you guys a message because something has happened in response to what you did. And it's going to happen in real time, so you guys are going to hit me back, okay? Hit me back. So yeah, they hit these Varts. They had a very high reaction roll, 97. And then I was thinking, okay, so they're going to negotiate. So I decided this is an opportunity to reveal who this predator was, this apex predator that they actually went into the dungeon to find a couple weeks ago. Like that was the whole purpose of going in originally. 40 Varts talking in a chaotic language. Sounds like some bad Taco Bell. Yeah, you're right. Zvarts. So I used that opportunity to talk about like the monster, the lead monster, and it's a dragon. In the game world lore, they're called angels. They are the fallen angels that were cast down to Earth And so the evil dragons are like the offspring of the 5 betrayer dragons. And like that, I did drop a little bit of lore. I don't think the players really care too much. They're like, oh, okay, we know that now. But they know there's a dragon down there. And with that comes a lot of treasure and most likely a whole lot of death. So they were thinking like, okay, we could go see this boss. And the Zvarts were like, give us some treasure to give to the boss. Like he needs an offering. He wants to talk to you. Give him like a worthy offering. And they're like, we'll give him some wine. That's good, right? And they're like, no, he'll eat you for that. And they're like, eat us? This guy must be huge. And so they were like, we're not gonna go fight this boss. We're not gonna go see this boss and talk to this boss. Whatever these little minions have planned, we're not gonna allow it. So they decided to do battle while they were surrounded and outnumbered about 3-1. And so they won initiative, which is nice. They cast Fairy Fire on the boss and a couple of his minions. They dropped 1 or 2 of the minions, the little Zvart guys, before they had their turn. And that's when the blood started to flow. When the monsters took their turn, there were still 13 attacks going out, divided amongst like, they did hire some retainers, but it was brutal. Of course, Jack went down immediately. He has 1 hit point. So no XP for Jack's character this week. Oh no, that's not true. He'll get a little bit for beating the monsters, but that's like, it's a fraction. It's a fraction of his level. Taurus Mal, the druid, he goes down. Boom, sack of potatoes. And then we had a new Hypercam. He's one of the channel members, Hypercam, and he joined us last night with a new level 1. And his fighter, we rolled up using Crom, 2 HP. He went down like a sack of potatoes. So it's just like bloop, bloop, bloop. Everybody's going down. One of the men-at-arms got slaughtered, dead. And at that point, they were like, okay, we're completely surrounded. What are we gonna do? And they did highlight using Fairy Fire the boss, and they're like, okay, we have to take him out and try to force a morale check. So they're thinking like tactically. And Zap got it, man. He rolled too low to get a hit, but with the Fairy Fire, the additional +2 to hit, he was able to hit the armor class exactly. And he took out. They hit him twice. And so when they did that, I rolled a reaction. The Zvarts fled. They were chopping up. They got a few more kills too in that round. And so there was like 10 of the dudes left. And so they scattered to the wind. The party's like, okay, well, what do we do now? We have a bunch of dead weight. They stabilized everybody, but in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, if you go down to 0 or under 0, after you're stabilized, you're in a coma for several turns, and then once you wake up, all you can do is hobble at like half your movement rate. You can't attack, you can't carry treasure, you're useless to the party at that point. And so they decided, since it was still early in the session and early in the day, they were going to travel back down the hill for 2 hours, drop off the team, and get some backup characters that they made. If one of the PCs had talked back to chaotic evil drama would have ensued. Oh, I know, Jack. No, I loved it. Like I'm trying to bait people into giving away their alignment, because the purpose of this campaign is not everybody's buddy. I keep trying to bring that up and like slowly introduce it to the new guys, because when they meet some of the old guys and they get betrayed, I don't want their feelings to get hurt, because we've established a culture of player versus player, Braunstein. And so I'm trying to like slowly like introduce this idea to the guys, because whether it's through alignment language they reveal themselves, or through their associations if they reveal themselves, I'm hoping the players are taking note about who it is that they can trust and who it is they can't. Because when it comes down to it, there will be player versus player. if it's going to be inside the same faction, I'll do simple stuff like only one of you gets this new title, only one of you gets this new set of magic armor, you have to accomplish this goal, how are you going to do it? But if it's faction versus faction, it could just be straight up battle. Like hire some men at arms and go kill them. I told them that so Taurus Mal, he's Jonathan Jonathan Hardesti, I think is his last name. He's on YouTube and on X as that. I'm not giving away. I'm not giving away his information. He is made a druid, and he is trying to talk to other players to make a druid cult to Kythanos, the great old one of the setting. If he can do that, if he can convince even 2 players to make a druid with him, they can perform these like sacrifices and empower themselves, summon magic items into the world. Every full moon in real time, he could do this, and they could do this. But of course, it's going to draw attention from other factions who don't want them sacrificing people. And we're going to get it. Like, I think that's a nice segue, actually. We can get into some of the topics that I wanted to discuss tonight. But before we do, let's see how the chat's doing. Harold is invincible. Harold is not invincible, bro. Harold is a wet piece of paper. 1 hit point wonder. Yeah, 1 hit point is all you need when you're this handsome. Yeah. Are you just ever gonna level up, bro? We gotta get you to roll some HP, man. Sounds like you guys have been having fun. 1E is the best. Josh, thanks for coming in, bro. I appreciate you stopping by, dude. Yeah, Josh is amazing. If you guys don't follow him on X, you need to. He's one of the champions of the Bro XT. Let's see. Thank you. Soul of Humility. You're a faction of 1 working together, but remember, a faction of 1. Yeah, essentially that is what it is. I don't mind having a faction of 2 or 3. I even told them in the Discord, I'm like, if you guys want to make thieves, you can make your own thief gang. Like, it's not going to be a thieves guild, but like 2 or 3 guys, some cutthroats who hang out in an alley, and like you can target people as a team. You're way more likely to rob somebody if you're not a thief by yourself. Because a lot of these thieves, 2, 3 people is way more likely to pick the locks to disarm the traps. Maybe somebody doesn't make it out, but at the end of it, your little thief gang, the 3 rats or whatever you want to call yourselves, you're going to have something, and you're going to, if you go through a little adventure together, just the 3 of you, you're going to feel so much more connected than if you're one thief in a party with a fighter and a magic user, right? Like, you're just playing your role then. But if you make your own gang, you're playing your own faction, and it's like you can connive, right? And in the Discord channel, you guys can just make your own channels, like just like make your little plots. I know so Jonathan can't join us right now. He's actually running a game, but his goal is to start a Cthulhu cult. Like, that's his plan. So be all you can be in AD&D. Hey, fellow kids, want to join my cult? Hello, fellow normal civilians of this town. Would you like to join our secret society up in the hills under the moon near these large standing stones? And don't pay any attention to the sound of the screams. No, I already joined this like 4 weeks ago. Vic says, you can slay the man, but not the name. The prestige... We all know. No, yeah, Harold he's number 1 in our hearts, but like number 10 on the chart. Smite the like button. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you. Please do. So yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about Druids and how frustrating it is to teach players how to play a neutral. Like, I don't even understand neutral. I don't think anyone can, any normal human being can truly grasp a neutral faction. But there is some guidance in Appendix N, and I cited some of it on X. And so I said on X that, Druids are not to be trusted. They live out in the woods because they're wildlings, and they kill people. They sacrifice, like, during Samhain, during, like, even basically any holiday, they could take that as like a pagan, right? Like, because a lot of the pagan holidays we adopted. So you can like look at the real life calendar and be like, okay, if I do a sacrifice here or on a new moon or on a full moon, then you can empower your spells. I'll let you summon magic items and XP. These guys are crooked dudes. You know, they are not good guys. But everybody, they have this idea that druids are like these, oh, I have squirrels that live on my shoulder, and oh, I talk to the birds. It's like, no, bro, that's such a small aspect of what a druid can do. That's one spell they have, speak with animals. But these are not lawful people. Lawful people live in town. Chaotic people, you know, they try to destroy the town. But these other people, they're like, you know, the meme where like everybody's kind of huddled around a corner and there's somebody being like, actually, and they're like, yeah, okay. That's druids. They're doing their own little thing. They are making trouble. Whatever it is that they're trying to do, they're trying to make trouble. So I think that it's important that we separate the idea that druids are like these just tree loving, everybody's happy and in the forest. I touch grass. It's like, yeah, you touch grass with your blood soaked feet. A neutral faction just is. They do not take sides. Yes. To a lawful PC, druids are the worst. To a lawful PC, druids are evil. Right? And the thing is if I was trying to talk to Jonathan about this, I'm like, keep in mind that as a true neutral, you have more enemies. Like, you really do. Like, you're surrounded on all sides, because the truly chaotic evil guys, you don't want them destroying everything, right? All forms of life, because you need that life to fuel your blood magic. The lawful people are trying to like put shackles on you. There's just too much that like you have to be keeping your eyes on. So that's kind of why they kind of go off and hide by themselves and do their dirt magic. Yeah, so Vic says, so the druid injured on the bed rest right now. Day of the pillow is upon it. Yeah, exactly. Just and I wanted to tell you guys, you were talking about, oh, well, we can help you with your training, or sorry, with your upkeep costs. And I was like, here's the thing. In your mind, you see that druid as Jonathan, right? Like, Jonathan helped us out. He cast fairy fire. He's a good dude. We couldn't have done it without him. You couldn't have done it without him. Everybody has their role to play in the dungeon. But when you're outside of the dungeon, you have to look at the big picture, right? You're no longer trying to survive. Now you're trying to you're worried about your kids. What if he gets his hands on one of your kids? What if he takes them out there and starts filling their heads with these thoughts of the great old ones, of bringing them and their minions into the world? What do they want to do that for? Wait, why is your son spouting this rhetoric at the dinner table? No, you don't want to let this guy anywhere near your town, your friends, your family. He's not Jonathan. He's Taurus Mal. He's got machinations and plans. You're not paying for his upkeep. Now, I did say that if you share at least one axis on the alignment chart, you can make a loan. Now, if you're the same alignment, you're in the same faction. Like, I don't mind you paying. You can give him gifts. You can pay for his training. I don't care. But he doesn't have anybody in his faction. He's alone. Right? The only other druid in the campaign died months ago. Like, nobody plays druid. And nobody plays druid well. So read H.P. Lovecraft if you want to know what a druid really is. Or at least in what. So this is how I view druids. But the first thing I said when I posted that first comment was, I don't know why you're speaking like this is an absolute truth. This is just your opinion. And I'm like, yeah, this is my opinion. I'm the one that posted it. Like, why are you bothering me? Like, they're like, why don't you say only some druids are like this? And I'm like, does anybody write an essay and in the introduction just fill it with a bunch of qualifiers not always, but sometimes, maybe it's possible that? It's like, no, they say, here's my position, here's why I believe it, and you can have a disagreement, but you don't get to say that you should have qualified that first. People on X, man, I swear, it's like all they do is huff paint and then get on their phone. Oh, I didn't look at the chat. I'm a little bit behind. Let's see. Yeah, Druids are the worst, Josh. You're absolutely right. Not good, but not evil. Not lawful, but not chaotic. Very difficult but rewarding to roleplay. I know. That's the thing is I want you guys to make a Druid cult. Like, I think that would be so cool. And you can do a lot with Druids. They have a nice toolkit because your adventure isn't necessarily in the dungeon. It's out in the wilds, establishing standing stones and, trying to capture potential victims that you can sacrifice. It could be criminals. It could be the bad guys, because the blood is the blood, right? Somebody needs to die. And so if you're trying to keep low profile, you wouldn't necessarily pick the priest or the cleric in town because people would be looking for him. But it's like, oh, there's a lady of the night walking the streets all by herself, or there's a somebody slinging like some kind of hallucinogenic mushrooms. You could pick him up off the street, and nobody will miss them. The hobos, the ne'er-do-wells. Yeah, nobody's gonna miss them. Nobody will even know. Wow, look how powerful our spells are now. Let's see. Vic says, so the Druid, okay, yeah, we got that one right. My ear trumpet in Lynn Carter's Thongar series. The Red Druids were the bad guys. I need to write this down. My ear trumpet, could you message me that? Because I'm going to forget. Lynn Carter, Thongar, could you message me that? Because I want to read that. I'm still reading the Two Towers, guys. I have like 90 pages left. I haven't read anything for 2 days, which is against my principles of no 0 days. With reading, you shouldn't have any 0 days, but the past 2 days I've had 0 days, 0 pages read. So the principle is if you have no 0 days, you'll read 1 page. And once you read that page, you're like, okay, I'm already here. I can read a couple more, right? And so you trick your brain and think like, all I have to do is read 1 page and I'm good and I'll meet my quota. But I ran D&D late last night, and the night before, what did I do? I have no excuse. I was up playing World of Warcraft. I have no excuse at all. Like the day before was just me playing video games after work. Yep, no reasonable excuse there. So I have to do my lashes now, like flagellation. Let's see. Touching grass intensifies. So eat comics. Druids are not neutral in the moral sense. They are neutral in the following their own rules sense. I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest. They're playing a different game. Yes, you're absolutely right. I think they're not bothered by the war of establishing civilization or destroying it, right? I think they want to bring about a time that was long forgotten. A time where the truly apathetic, the great old ones, are ruling again. Because it's weird because, like, if you're immortal and you choose to summon these things into the universe, you're basically accepting that you will be destroyed too. They are that apathetic. I mean, the temporary power exchange, like, if you're going to make a deal with Cthulhu, I will do what you want, but you will give me power. The power exchange is just temporary. And so trying to rationalize that, it's impossible because we are lawful people. Everybody is lawful, right? We have good brains. But these people who are truly crazy and they're willing to summon Cthulhu into the world, I think, like, they really don't care about the outcome. Like, it's just hard to grasp and like to rationalize it. But if you can role play it well, you will get the E, the exceptional rank. Says, at Crossface, may your takedowns be unbeatable. Wait, is Crossface in the chat? Oh, he said touching grass intensify. Brother, dude, hello, sir. Dude, Crossface, you guys may not know this, but Crossface is absolutely one of the coolest guys in the whole world. So I had a YouTube channel, and it was just like me and a couple of my friends in real life that would watch my videos sometimes. And I was on X, and no one ever like would like my posts or talk to me about anything. But I made one video about one-to-one time because I liked the bros, and he shared it around, and I went like from like, I don't know, like 100 subscribers to like hundreds of subscribers. People started talking to me and like engaging with me, and literally it's all because Crossface shared my video. Like I could see the difference. It was like the day before Crossface shared my video, Crossface shared my video, and there was just like boom. So thank you again, man. I know I've said that a lot, and it might be kind of tiresome to hear the same story over and again, but I owe a lot to you, man. Thank you. Let's see. Jax says, Crossface, may your takedowns be unbeatable. Druids are usually pagan priests. The Cthulhu thing with them is news to me. I just think that makes sense, right? Like it doesn't have to be Cthulhu only. It's just in this setting. That's where I went with it. But any like Robert E. Howard, I use that as another example. The pics from Robert E. Howard's Conan series, I don't think they worship the great old ones, but they practice like crazy blood magic and like cannibalism. Beyond the Black River, they actually only lash out against society when that new fort like starts expanding into their territory, and that's when they start killing off the leadership, right? And so Conan would never have interacted with them had they not started like killing off the leaders, but those leaders came to their area first and started interrupting with their blood rituals and their cannibalism. Hawk, dude, you got to make it. Excellent, dude. Excellent. Evildoers who love blood sacrifice will look you dead in the eye and say peace and love, man. That is good stuff. Evildoers who love blood sacrifice will look you dead in the eyes and say peace and love, man. That is hilarious, bro. You're absolutely right. I want page numbers on this one, Mike. What page numbers are we talking about? Page number for what, Jack? As a player, I account that this world may change. Let's see. As a player, I accept that this is the world my charger lives in. Let's play. Yeah, dude, just get in there and start swinging. Well, sure, I don't want Cthulhu to eat the town. I didn't have the information I needed when I formed an opinion based on Taurus helping us. Yeah, and that's the whole thing, is like you did know that he was neutral. But your character understands the implications of that, but the player doesn't understand the implications of that, right? Like the player's like, oh, he's a neutral druid and he cast that spell. But your character's like, he's a neutral druid? Hello, Liam. What's up, dude? At the rush of being considered judgmental, I'm inclined to take a firm stance against human sacrifice. Yeah, I mean, I think you're kind of judgy. Just let them be them, dude. Like, why can't you just accept them for who they are, Jack? Let's see. Anyone good literature for clerics? Oh, man. You know, I've actually tried to look up good cleric literature. I just kind of... Man, that is a good question. Chat, help us out. Cleric literature, the Bible, Exodus, yeah, Solomon Kane. Also, the Crusades, the battles against the Moors in Jerusalem, yeah. The great old ones. This kind of being even goes all the way back to the immortal rules. Oh. Crossface. Awesome story. Crossface is good people. No, he really is. He's a great guy, man. Like, what a cool dude. I'm glad you're like back in the X scene, Crossface. You've been kind of I know you took some time to work on other projects, so I'm glad to like see you posting again. Norse culture is a good example for druid inspiration. Page numbers. One axis in common can loan money. Same alignment can gift. Those are just there's no guidance on that in AD&D, so that's just homebrew. That's, I guess, homebrew. Yeah. Those are the rules of our table. Yeah. Because I want to focus on Bronstein, man. I don't want a bunch of huggy bros high-fiving each other. Because any game can be that. Like, if you go to anybody's table, it's that. Where, like, oh, the paladin and the thief, they're best pals, you know, like, always getting on each other's nerves, but, you know, they're going to role play through it. Like, no, I don't want that. Go play a different game. We're going to take the heat. We're gonna bring the heat. So yeah, that's my take on Druids. I think they are amazing and cool and impossible to comprehend. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, 1 HP fighters. So I'm a bad DM. No one. I'm a bad DM. No one will ever play in my campaign. It'll never happen. 1 HP is a terrible practice. You have to give max HP at level 1. Everybody knows this. Only good DMs will use this rule. All bad DMs would never would make you roll your HP to start a character. So it's a fact, and everyone on Twitter has made sure that I know this. I am a bad dungeon master. You know, they have this opinion because it's fun and it's normal to love your character. And they see their task as defeating the enemy. And with the best possible lens, the best steel man argument I can make for their defense is it's just more fun to make it out of the adventure alive. And you can do that if you don't go down with 1 hit. But, and here's where I think that if they gave the rules an opportunity to show them a really fun game, they might change their mind. And we've changed minds. On this channel, people have told me, I started doing it this way and it works, or people have joined the stream or the game on Discord and been super excited about how fun it can be to just follow the rules. If you roll HP and you roll poorly, you feel something the entire game. You're every corner, you're looking around, just checking. Every combat, every time I roll to attack, your gut just kind of squeezes up. You feel excitement. And that's something you cannot do if you have the mentality of max HP. I know the idea of charging into battle with 8 or 9 hit points is cool. But try charging into battle with 1 or 2 hit points. See how much more courageous you feel. Who would Harold be? Harold the Handsome. And this is a legitimate question. Who would Harold be if he was a 9 hit point fighter? In the X zeitgeist, in the Broasarg zeitgeist, in this the Scutifer Mike zeitgeist, who would Harold be? He would be a nameless nobody. Nobody would care about that character. It would be like, oh yeah, he's my fighter's coming along, Mike. That's cool. Trudging along, getting his XP every session. But the absolute savagery that Jack has applied to this fighter, zero regard for safety. He almost got into the back line and was going to use his bow, but then other people talked him out of it. Somebody with like 12 hit points. Zappy's character's got like Zap. How many hit points does Orin have? He has like 3 solid hits, and he still is like, I'm gonna be in the back with my bow. And Harold's like, okay, I'll be in the front with my 1 hit point. There would be no character. The laughs, the excitement, the genuine concern. Everybody at the table and people who have never played with us are all pulling for Harold the Handsome. We know eventually he's going to get to roll that second hit die, and it's going to be a 1. It's going to be amazing. All right, let's check up with the chat. Let's see. Table versus poor Bedraggle DM. Yeah, no, sounds like 1 HP PC created a fun scenario before y'all even hit the table. Exactly, dude. It's about accepting the dice as they roll, making sense of it, embracing the suck. That's what old school games are about. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons is a survival horror game. Poison kills you instantly. You can't see in the dark. There's creatures out there somewhere. They could attack you at any moment with random encounter rolls. You roll for hit points. You have to spend all of your treasure just to stay alive. Like, this is not Critical Role. Like, Critical Role's boring. Druids in Critical Role, they have pet squirrels and, you know, like, ooh, I can talk to plants. It's like, nobody cares. We're playing a survival horror game. Lean into that. Accept it, embrace it, and like have fun with it. And when you roll your second hit die, you earned it. There's a mentality shift on a fighter that has 8 or 9 hit points and they charge into battle. A 5e player or somebody who's new to AD&D, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, it's my job as the fighter to get in there and go. I've got all these hit points. There's no consideration of it. But the person with 1 hit point, the player's like, oh man, I got to go in there. I got to get in there. I got to protect the team. We got to get Jack some good armor, though. We got to get him some better armor. He's like, I got to get in there. And like, you feel it. You play AD&D just to feel something. You play 5e to, I don't know. Why do people play 5e? I don't know. I tried playing. I actually was a player in a 5e game with my buddy. And I'm starting to remember like why I don't like stop time games and like why I don't like 5e, because I love those dudes. They are my real life friends, but they enjoy the heroic part of fantasy. And so every time they go to a new town, they extort all of the NPCs. They rob everybody. They will threaten violence. They'll be like, if you don't tell me this secret that you have, I'll kill you, you know, like, and that just doesn't happen in an AD&D game to the same level. Yeah, the thieves are always thieving, but like if you tried to go into a new town with a group of PCs and you did that, the guards would be like, okay, I rolled a hit. Oh, you're dead. So it's just like, you can do that in 5e too. You can. It's just the the game engine is not the issue, actually. I would love a 5e game with 1-to-1 time, with like rolling your hit points even at level 1, with training and player grading. I think 5e would be really good. I think it would still be fine. You have to do a lot of homebrew though, and that's the only issue, because I don't want to I rest overnight and I'm healed back to full. So anyway, I kind of got a sidetrack. Let's check the chat. Did someone crash out last night? No. If the games weren't super early morning for me, I'd definitely join. Bro, I know. Here's the thing. This week on my Saturday and last week on my Saturday, I have work events, and I might have a couple more in like next month. And these work events, they take away from my gaming time that I like to play with you guys, which is usually in the evening for you, early morning for me, switching it up. But these work events have messed that up because I got to go to work in the morning. But I have a couple weeks where I will check the Discord. I will be posting a schedule for next week where I'm gaming morning my time, the evening your time. It'll be like pretty late, actually, like 8 or 9 p.m. But we'll switch the roles around, because the thing is Parker, you guys know Pogo Donuts? Parker, he's like one of the like most dedicated players in the Discord, and he hasn't joined any of these games because I had to switch for a couple weeks for this work stuff, and that's when he works. So we will be going back to like support Parker and like some other guys who can like show up at different times. I will be offering a couple of alternatives. So keep checking the Discord, bro. I want you to game. Let's see. Jack says, wait, so it says Mythic Mountain RPG. So someone crashed out. I don't know. Everyone. Fake news. 1 HP Bob the Fighter is the only way to win D&D. Yeah. Okay. Message received. I won't always play a good character. I will allow my inner evil to come out and play. Yes. Do it. We need a chaotic evil magic user. I mean, you guys saw Heavy Metal, right? Like, we need like that. We need that like tyrant chaos knight who's like gonna invade the lands, and only the chosen hero can come and save them. Let's see. I've got a solo 1E campaign. All 4 characters are mages. I was prepared to bend the rules for them to survive. They have been stupid lucky, and their 3 HP hasn't been a problem. Well, if you have enough sleep spells, you can really, you can get through a lot. Zappy says, I said, if you want, you can frontline in heavy armor. He's over here trying to defend himself. Okay, let's hear the cope from Zappy. But I can take the hits up there. Jack said, okay, I'll take point. The man has charisma, so we'll let him have it. Cope. You have 15 hit points. Hey, I didn't feel comfortable with Vic being up front by himself. Well, no, you can't leave Swindrel. I don't even know how many hit points Swindrel has. It's definitely not max hit points. Crom has never given max hit points. My character doesn't know he has 1 hit point. Yeah, well, here's the thing. You see him get scratched by these tiny little blue guys, and this is the second time you've seen that, and he just kind of falls over. I think you have an idea that he is kind of frail. He's a sensitive one. Maybe he's acting. Maybe he's overreacting. Exactly. Yeah, dude. Munchkins. Yeah, the little blue munchkins. Vic, TBE and Vic are doing a take on 5E, I believe. So the basic expert. Ah, yes. So, guys, I've been brainstorming. I don't know if you guys know what the Scooty Awards are. At the end of every year, we are going to do an award show. Hand out the Golden Scooty for some categories, okay? So far, I've got 4 categories, and I've got some people filled into them. Obviously, when you said the basic expert and Victor Gorchev, he's the scrying Dutchman, if you guys don't know him. When you said them, that reminded me because they're on my lists of potential of nominees, and the nominees are I need categories. So I have best YouTube channel, best new RPG system, best RPG supplement, and best artist, RPG artist. So I've got 4 categories. That's pretty good. I only had 3 categories last year. I don't want to like forget about some. I feel like there's a vacuum in my brain. So what categories am I forgetting? You know, like it could be about any topic you guys want, but I need to start brainstorming and researching now because it takes a while to read all of these supplements and stuff. And so, and game with them and have experience with them. So let me know what you guys think. And when you come up with a category, also who should go into these categories? Like who's the people that you're following that you're just so interested in? Chubby Funster pops into my brain. Richard I don't know how to say his last name. Whitakers? No. He's a great artist. He did Strahd and all the Demon Lords. I love his work. He's got this game called Ruttiger or something that's going to be popping up tomorrow. I know Michael's going to be gaming with him, and Patty's Parlor is going to be gaming, and maybe Harmony, somebody else. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to be watching that closely on the replay. So yeah, guys, help me out. What categories? Who should get nominated? Let's see. Did y'all 3d6 down the line, Mike? We use rules as written in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. There are 4 methods. There are 4 methods for character generation. I prefer method 1. Most of the Bro SR likes method 3. Method 1 is great because you roll 46, you drop the lowest, and then you assign the stats where you want them to go. So you get to choose your class, right? Like you're like, I want to play a fighter. I want to play a thief. You can do that when you assign your stats. But method 3, you do generate stronger characters. And then there's the 5th method, which is method Vic. So Vic, he's generated a really interesting method for character creation. So what you do is you roll a fistful of D20s and you throw them down, and whatever the highest stat on the D20s are, that's the stat you put into your character, and then you try to sell me on it. He took screenshots of like a bunch of D20s. I told him I would keep keep this a secret. But then he was like, no, you got to tell everybody. So we're gonna make fun of Vic for a little bit. He rolled like a bunch of D20s, 6 D20s, and then he took the highest D20 from them, and then he wrote the stat down. He's like, I'm playing a paladin, Mike. Bro, I was like, those are D20s, not D6s, Vic. And he's like, oh yeah, what am I doing? He's like, yeah, of course I knew that. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. So yeah, there is that method. That's a really good one. But it was inspired by method 3, which is you roll I think it's 6 sets of stats for each stat, and then you take the highest one from each. You don't get to choose your class that way, but you will have a generally powerful character because every stat is the best of 6 different sets of 3d6. So, you know, there's 4 methods. Do which one you like. That's what I say. And then once we have the stats, I punch them into Crom, and Crom creates the hit points, and it gives me like a nice little system for filling in the character sheet, which I always mess up. And then the guys are like, I don't think you gave me this thing that I need. Guys, get Crom, okay? Just get it, and that way you can dedicate your time and your energy into making your character awesome. Like, buying every little thing you want. Just get Crom. I know Dungeon Delver, Mr. Bill would appreciate it if you did. Supporting him would be a really good thing, and it makes my life so much easier. But if you can't, I understand. I'll still help you with that. Let's see. Vic. Malachi says, Vic, among other things, they're both working. Okay. Yeah, I'm so pumped for White Box. Yeah, dude, those guys, they are pumping out content. So something's going to make the Scooties, right? Like, never played 0E. I have played White Box, the other version. So he's updated it a few times over the years, but I've played it before on the channel. It's fun. We do 46. Yeah. Wait, Vic, you have 8 HP? Yeah, okay. Swindrel's a beast. Those little blue buggers got lucky. Well, come on, man. You went down the first attack. Mr. Goat. Hello, sir. Hello, Goat. Chubby Funster is really good. Umbros for the best supplement. Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe. The Broasar did win best supplement last year, so, I mean, it could be like a reigning title. We'll see if we can keep, like, holding up that golden Scooty. Hawk says, oh, thanks, Jack. Hope y'all give it a shot sometime, though everyone might just end up being a thief. Oh, man, you guys are... I'm so glad you're here. Oh, Vic, here we go. Malaki, Vic. Malachi. Sorry, I told you I was going to do it. Vic says, I had a brain fart and did 6 D20 down the line before I was corrected. He had a bunch of 17s. It was solid. It is the superior method. Yeah, you're right. Josh, category best clubhouse, category best Bronstein, category best TTRPG innovation. Yeah, dude. Best Bronstein for sure. I mean, that's... man, there are some good ones. Has anybody been posting session reports or after action reports for Bronsteins recently? I can't remember any I've read in the past, like, 2 months maybe. We're building an always on my Discord and with the Chinese guys. Always on, no matter what. We're constantly thinking about faction play, about how we can move our team up. There will be killing, there will be death. It's just a part of the game. And once you guys meet these Chinese players, they're not all Chinese. Like, one of them's Chinese guy, one of them, you know, there's some Canadians, some Americans, but once you meet them, you're gonna wish that you guys had prepared. I'm just saying, I'm trying to give you guys a hint. They're not your friends. They're going to steal the treasure that you left in the dungeon. Excuse me. You guys walked out of there, and I do have some feedback for you, and I told you I was going to bring this up, so just be prepared. When you spend a lot of time talking about what plan you want to make and, like, do we go this way? Let's double back, go this way. You're burning the actual time. And during actual game time, That's when you should be seizing as much treasure as you can, because at the end of the session, we're not pausing it, right? You have to go back to town. And then the clock catches up and things start rolling again. The other people in town, all the other players, they saw you come back, or they heard rumors of you coming back with sacks full of treasure, and you didn't get it all. There's a lot left open, and they might take it. So just keep that in mind. You might go back and see an empty dungeon. Be diligent with the time. Don't waste any time with your strategies. The party caller can be super aggressive with the chatter. Like, guys, we gotta go. We gotta go. I started stepping into that role, which really isn't my job as the referee, to get you guys motivated, because I want to give you some examples of what my expectation is, or like what the expectation should be. And so I have to step in here. Go. Just go. Make your move. Go. You're running out of time. And I kept like calling, like, oh, you have 35 minutes. You have 24 minutes. You have 10 minutes. And so I would encourage you to keep your eye on the real world clock, because whenever that runs out, whenever midnight comes for me, we got to end the session. And that means you got to, things aren't going to pause for you. Let's see. Hawk says, haha, might work well in DS Dragon Slayer. That's how we all played 40 years ago. Method 3. Yeah, that's how we, right. Everybody rolled this way back in the 80s. Don't you remember? We never played that way back in the 80s. Don't you remember? It's like every time I post something, they're like, yeah, we never played that way. It's like, huh? How about you post on your X how you play, and I'll post about how I play, and I won't tell you what I used to do back in the day when I'm talking to you about your game. Such a weird reaction with boomers. Yeah, we never did that. That's not what we did. It's like, who cares what you did? Nobody cares. Your games are boring. Nobody remembers your game. Leave me alone. Yeah, get Crom. Get Crom. Michael is correct. Get Crom. Yeah, keep the best one out of D20s. I've rolled some monsters in Method 3. My 2 favorite PCs ever came out of this method. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get some strong characters. I want to choose. I never get to play, but if I did get to play, it would be, I want to choose what class I play. And I would play, what would I play? Well, if the stats were good enough, I'd play a paladin, just because you get to be the beacon of hope and light, and you get to be a true warrior. Like, there is no denying, like, your role. What is your role? Smite the dead. Kill the enemy. Devils, demons, they're all going down. But if I didn't get the stats, man, that's something I never get to think about. Maybe a magic user. Yeah. I would want something like sleep or spider climb, charm person. And with that, I could probably have a lot of fun, because he would probably be chaotic, evil. And I would play him like this, like, evil sorcerer who, lives off in the hills and summons devils and demons to, like, terrorize, but, like, also to, like, serve his purposes, right? Like, if you can control an imp, what would you get him to do? Not just send messages, right? Let's see. I'll get Crom. Screw it. Hey, Vic, good job, dude. Yeah, let Mr. Delver know I sent you. That's the hardcore. Much respect. Wait, what did Hawk say? That was hardcore. Yeah, I've only ever done 3d6 down the line since the 80s. Bro, dude, that is the most hardcore way. That's how I made the OSC characters for the channel. Just 3d6 down the line, just roll it. Yeah. You did Space Stein in July. Okay. Umbros for best supplement naturally. Broser sort of died and is being reborn at Umbros. Kind of. It's just the next step, I think. Yeah. Pigs in Space Stein. Hawk says, in my mind, it was just how I learned to play from my older brother. I didn't know there were other methods until the mid-90s when we went hard into 2E. Yeah, so what I like about first edition, I'm going to drink some water. what I like about is it is so ridiculously hard to survive. When you go to 0, you're dead. It's just a step too far. Now, AD&D has that rule, but it's an optional rule to do the -10, and I prefer that. You're much more survivable. And YouTube is telling me that the connection is bad. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. I will give it a second to catch up. DM, I need a declaration, guys. Let's go. Yeah, I had to do that a little bit, but these are all new players to the system, and so I'm being super forgiving. I'm coaching them on what I want to see from them, and then I'm going to be more hands-off in the future. In the after-action reports, I'm going to be including this feedback as well. Read them, take them to heart. That will eventually affect your grade. Dark Sun. 5d4 for stats. No way. Dark Sun was ridiculously deadly, though. Oh. Jack says, I'll think about the feedback, Mike. Please do, brother. Please do. Malachi, that's why you get 5d4 for dice and bumped to level 3. That's why I said the d20 method might work for... Okay, yeah, got to get there. Dark Sun, not Dragon Slayer, I see. Okay. Jack McCarthy, ankle biters. It's not comments from people who play. It's comments from people who used to play. Now that is insightful. Yeah, I never did this back in the day. Okay. Gary never played with chainmail. Don't you understand that you guys playing with chainmail is just ridiculous because Gary didn't? Huh? Nobody cares. Nobody cares what Gary did at his home table. It says in the book that you use chainmail. So if you want to use chainmail and follow the rules, who cares? Bro, nobody cares about what Gary did at his home game. I make up rules all the time. Like, if I post about my comments on X about my home game, you can just ignore it. You can literally just be like, oh, okay. And then just scroll right past. Nobody cares about what my home game is. Like, if you do care, cool. Talk to me about it. Like, ask questions. Like, use it at your table. That's cool. But, like, at the end of the day, you can just scroll right past my post. The problem with using a single die for stat gen is that you don't get the bell curve. Right. No, you got to have the bell curve. Yep. Paladins and Rangers are crazy good in AD&D too. Oh, okay, Josh, let me tell you about what happened last night then. I guess magic users are too high level, but then you have to roleplay a weirdo who wants to do that. They are at high level. They are very powerful. I think at low level, they're really powerful. Think about what sleep does. Like, it wins. It just wins. It's so good. Let's talk about, though, Ranger. Last night, so a week ago, the guys were exploring around, and Taurus Mal, the half-elf, found a secret door. They knew that this secret door led down a hallway to where a large group of the Zvarts were. They knew that. They logged it. They're like, we're not going down there. We're not going to deal with that right now. They come back next week. They do a whole bunch of adventuring. They get a bunch of treasure. And then they're like, let's check out that secret door. They open it up, and the Zvarts were there in that room. It was another random encounter. They're in that room. And I was like, okay, well, this actually is a situation where both of you could be surprised, right? Like, they didn't listen at the door because it was a big stone wall. They were just like, we're going through the secret door. The Zvarts didn't know the door was there, and they didn't know that the Zvarts had moved into that room because of a purple worm. And so I rolled for surprise, and that was, I think that was the first surprise roll that they have experienced, because every other time is just like they're making so much noise, or, you know, like they're coming in guns blazing or stuff like that. So we rolled surprise, and it was 2 3s, but they had a ranger in their group. So the Zvarts were surprised for 3 rounds, and the party not surprised. The amount of damage, they had so many bows, so many segments of the fire rate's 2 for those guys. So many segments of just boom, boom, boom. They obliterated the entire Zvart party with the Zvart king, mind you, before they even got a turn. The little blue guys were obliterated. There was 10 of them in the room, and they were just like poop, 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 poop. It was the most epic and powerful moment. Like, I was like, wow, this like a 3 on a surprise is so good. Amazing. Let's see. DM question: what is your take in a character switching alignments? How does it go in your game? So there are rules in AD&D about it. We'll just use them. There's a couple ways to do it. If you actively switch, you can't really switch back. Like, you're committing to this path for a long time. It would be a choice slow that you would make over time. You wouldn't just be like, I'm chaotic evil, now I'm a good guy. But then there's the other aspect of switching alignments, which when it's forced upon you because you made bad choices. All of that is enforced. So the active switching, it is a hard thing to do, and like you have to like build towards it. It is laid out in the DMG. I forgot all the details, but I've read it, so I have a general idea. Nobody has ever wanted to switch alignments. Never. I have had a mirror that switched their gender and their alignment to the opposite. That happened, but the players were like just laughing so hard because it's so messed up. I'm not going to share that story. Never mind. Yeah, that's not YouTube friendly. But forcing alignment change is one thing, but then like the act of choosing to do it is a different thing. It takes time, but you can do it. And then once you do it, you're basically that. You can't, it's really hard to switch back. Lots of stuttering. Is it because the channel is lagging, guys? I'm sorry. There was a slight stutter in the video, nothing major. Okay. Nobody had access to Gary's table when 0E was released. And who would really, I mean, like, I guess I would be curious to know, but would I ever frame my game off of what people talked about him doing? Like, oh yeah, that never happened because I was there, 40 years ago, and that never happened. I remember 40 years ago perfectly. Dude, I can't even remember 10 years ago. Like, barely. I was talking to my wife. She's 29. And I was like, I don't remember 29 at all. Like, what was I doing when I was 29? Like, that was just 10 years ago or 12 years ago. I was like, I know that you're really young, Roxy. She was like, oh, I'm so old. I was like, no, you're young. You're so young. I don't even remember. I don't even remember 29. Yeah. So 40 years ago, bro, I'm sorry. I don't trust your recollection. But it says in the book that you use chainmail. So how about we just do what the rules say? The fact that ankle biters are so bothered is a good sign you're onto something here. Yeah, I mean, we're having a blast, dude. Multiple parties in the campaign. These new Discord guys, the channel members, the YouTube channel members, have reinvigorated AD&D. The whole campaign is alive again. Been having a blast with AD&D, especially because I'm a fighter with 1 HP. It's a feature, not a bug. Absolutely. I don't like to play weirdos because I want my characters to be different from me. Well, yeah, I mean, you said it. That archery moment was awesome. We felt like absolute BAs. Yeah, dude, you were really powerful. What's up, Primeval? What's up, brother? So if I act chaotic evil, things will sort of sort themselves out. Maybe. Yeah. Eventually, I might change your alignment. But do you really want to go through that many sessions of bad grades whenever it actually comes time to train? I remember 29. I was pretty svelte. Okay, there was some other stuff I wanted to talk about as well. Let me get my book. I wrote down a bunch of like topics that I wanted to address. 4 months ago, I ordered this Dungeon Crawl Classics module on Amazon, Chinese Amazon, and it came in today. I forgot. It was so long ago, I forgot that I ordered it. I will open it up. It's got some plastic on it, so I'll open it up and give it a read through. I like the art. I like the idea of Dungeon Crawl Classics. I've only run some one-shots, but man, it's such a cool system. It's very different than a lot of options out there. I know like Shadow Dark was inspired with the spell rolls, but this is just, it's super fun. And like these guys, like aside from like the the really, really weirdness from the owner, they do embrace Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. They embrace what Gary's vision was for the game. They talk about Appendix N. I have mixed feelings about them at Goodman Games. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, right. Yeah. Monthly upkeep. Oh, my goodness. Talk about gold, my lord. Gold. Every month you must pay or be retired. That is a solid set of adventures. They are all from the free RPG day and other things. By the way, welcome to the club. Eat Comics. Welcome, brother. Welcome. I'm not that big of a fan of the system, but I love the DCC adventures. Right. Yeah. No, the maps in there are super cool. The art is super cool. I think that like the system is fun. I think it looks cool. I've never played it in a campaign though, but they have the same rules, like 1 hit point healing per day. I think one thing that they have is the spell burn, where like you tax your strength, you tax your constitution, and then you get those points back 1 day at a time. It gives you a reason to track time, right? Like you can track time, which means that the system embraces the idea that you're not the main character. Because if you are a magic user that drops their strength down to 6, and then their con down to 4, you are accepting the consequences of being bedridden or needing time to recover, which means you are embracing the fact that you're not the main character. You can roll up a new character while that guy's convalescing. You can be playing a dwarf, right? I think it's cool. I think there's something there. It's a massive book. I have it on my shelf. It's huge. Like I've read it one time through about 3 years ago. But I don't know. Why would I play DCC when I have AD&D, other than a one shot? Got to go to dinner with the wife and kids. Cheers, y'all. Hey, Hawk, dude, thank you. Thank you, bro. Thank you for coming. So let's talk a little bit about monthly upkeep. No one uses monthly upkeep. No one ever used monthly upkeep. Don't you know? We never did that back in the 70s. That's a terrible rule. It's so unrealistic. Who in the world would have to spend 100 gold pieces just to exist? It's absurd. And don't you understand how much 100 gold pieces is in a fantasy setting? There's no way it could ever be a reasonable number. It is massive because of all the spells, yeah. When you have principles like upkeep costs and you're using the rules as they are laid out for you, you will find that all of these systems build upon each other. The people who are dissenting, saying no one ever used that rule, no one ever plays this way, it's a terrible rule, you must hate your players, you're a bad DM. Like that, so many people said I was bullying my players and I was too afraid to talk to them about coming to session. That's why I'm using the rules. When you embrace that these are the rules, this is what you have to do, your engagement in the world goes up, not down. If you're not going to play and you don't like the rule, you're going to bounce off the system. You're not going to engage with it. No big deal. But the people who embrace it, they are going to find that 100 gold per level is actually not a big deal. So for these guys who just came in 2 weeks ago, they've been halfway through November is when they entered the campaign. And so the first month is prorated. They're not going to have to pay a full month's upkeep for only getting, 2 weeks in the campaign. So I told them, for your level 1 guys, just 50 gold pieces for the first 2 weeks. And then in the following month, it'll go to the normal amount. And they can do it. They even the guys who are kind of broke, I think they need to look at their character sheets because they have a lot of silver pieces. That's at least, I think they have at least 20, maybe 15 gold and silver pieces. I'm not sure. Not exactly sure. But if you know that is coming, you have to prepare for it. And that's taking into account training costs, taking into account your retainer costs, All of this stuff is a way to keep your character broke. Why did Gary put this in the game? Why does your character need to be broke? There's Appendix N, and then there's the player motivation. Let's talk about player motivation because I feel like it's the weaker of the two arguments. The two rationales. When you're broke, you need to go on an adventure. That will motivate you to get out of town and go, right? You have an incentive, you know you need this money, or your character's broke. But Advanced Dungeons and Dragons was inspired by Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, Conan. Do you guys remember the Conan movie? When they got out of that serpent temple with the giant snake, they had all those jewels, they were rich. There's an entire montage of them partying away all of their coin. And by the end of the montage, the king is like kicking them, trying to wake them up. The guards are waking them up, taking them to the king. They're flat broke. They're in the bar. They're face down in a puddle of like a wine that they knocked over. This is the inspiration. When you get treasure, you carouse it all away. You spend gold on meeting people, hanging out with them, building your infamy. We explain this to the people who are like, oh, it's so unrealistic. And this is legitimately their argument. You can't tell me that my character isn't going to be poor. If I want to live like a beggar in the streets with all my gold, I'm going to do that. You can't tell me that my character's more infamous and famous for getting all this treasure and loot. He's a nobody, and I'm going to tell you what he does. I never would have thought that the arguments would be, I will be poor and there's nothing you can do about it. I'll be a beggar in the streets. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, who advocates for, like, I don't want to be a powerful hero. I don't want to be this powerful, like, figure in the game. I want to be a nobody. It's like, okay, you can go roleplay a nobody. Go away. Let's see. It's true. We hated the rules and we didn't use the ones we didn't like. I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't care. You know, like, if you don't want to use the rules, right? Like, that has nothing to do with my game. Whenever I'm talking about this stuff, like, unlike a lot of the Bro SR guys, I don't say you play wrong. I don't care how you play. Honestly, I'm trying to share these ideas with you. So if you can improve your games and make your games more fun, cool. But if you want to change the rules, disregard the rules, I don't want to play with you. That's the only thing, is like, I'm not going to play. And if you join my game, you're going to embrace the fact that I do use the rules. Sometimes I get them wrong, but you know, that's a learning curve, right? Josh says, I'm not surprised that people who don't take showers disagree with monthly upkeep. Art imitating life. Dude, savage. Upkeep and training time were among the first casualties to cut from the game. Yeah, I get that. I'd make them pay the upkeep the same day the following month. Oh, you started November 5th? You pay upkeep. Well, okay, so that is fine, but I just attach it to the first of every month. So I do my disease checks, my taxes, and my upkeep costs the first of every month. It's just in my calendar. I'll never forget it. But if there's like a bunch of staggering numbers for all the players in the world, I'll never remember it. I'll forget stuff. So D&D and 0E, AD&D, 1E are war games. People don't know this. Yeah, dude, there's a reason why there's so many soldiers in those books. Mike, are you rolling up treasure strictly by the book? Not judging, just curious. I have before on the solo plays on the YouTube channel. I've rolled up treasure by the book, but no, there's a legendary artifact in the dungeon that they're in right now. Literally an artifact. I told them it's in there. They haven't found it yet. No, I base the treasure on being very, very wealthy. I want the players to get so much treasure after being in the dungeon. By the time they're level 2 and they're out of training, they can make moves in their faction. So no, I use way more treasure that's in the book. It's too little. But the thing is like the guys and the new guys, they might feel like it's too little because they've had 2 sessions and they haven't found like enough to really like do anything. And I think that's their fault. They need to be more aggressive and decisive about their plans, because there is a lot of treasure there. Guys, you would be Conan after he got out of that serpent temple if you were aggressive and decisive with your turns, because I think you went into the same like 5 rooms probably 5 or 6 times. Like the same, like in that dungeon, this dungeon does not go like this, but this is the map that you guys have made and reestablished over and over again. The dungeon goes like this. And I don't think you guys know that. So I would be way more decisive. Of course, we're spending 100 gold per month per level. That's why it's called a party. I'm with you on the treasure. Have to tweak it some if you want players to progress. Yeah, it's not enough in the books. But honestly, what's in Appendix B was never meant to be like the standard for making dungeons. Like that's for like solo play. That's for generating a dungeon on the fly, like a solo play on the fly. Like it even says it like these are the rules for how to make a solo play. It's not. I think the numbers are purposefully low because it's like, well, if we're not careful, then the solo player will just be like, oh, I found a +3 Avenger or whatever right away. Like Gary was trying to like limit your exposure to treasure in a solo play because people always go easier on themselves in solo plays. But as the dungeon master, no, dude, I got purple worms in a level 1 dungeon. The players, they're going to get eaten. I've got an artifact, which they still haven't found in the dungeon on level 1. Like I throw treasure at like as much as they want. I'm going to give it to them because they're not going to jump up 3 levels if they get enough treasure. Their XP stops when they get to the next level, regardless of how much treasure they find. But that gold can be used to fuel their plans, to get soldiers to fight their enemies. That's what I want them to do with that gold. Jack. I told you, man, like when it comes to the after action reports, I'm kind of a bully, but it's in good fun. And also I just want you guys to get better at gaming. So like at this kind of gaming, I know like Jack could run circles around me with like a lot of like these story games like Vampire. Jack played Vampire for forever. I would be like, I bite the guy, like I don't know where to begin. But when it comes to this kind of game, I want to like push you to this style and like really like challenge you guys to improve. Let's see. Oh, guys, you got to have a dungeon mapper. They have a dungeon mapper and he's really good. Vic doesn't mess around. He gets all of the details. Yeah, they do have a dungeon master. It's just they spend a lot of time talking about what they want to do. Hey, Harmony. Harmony came. Yay, buddy. Harmony, we haven't gamed together in a while. I don't know if you've noticed, but we have not rolled dice in a while. I have noticed. I've missed you, buddy. Yeah, they have a mapper. Vic is a really good mapper. Having 2 would be better. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Sounds like you need a new mapper. No, his map is really good. It's just I think the party caller needs to be more aggressive in, I'm not trying to be mean, but shutting everybody up. Like, you're not the mapper, you're not the caller. You can tell me what your character wants to do. If you're really, if you're really adamant against not doing it, you can bring up the conversation. But for the most part, the party caller should be saying, we're going north. And that's that, oh, Mike, see you later, man. Later. Gonna catch some dark winds with the woman and eat chips. Enjoy yourself, brother. Who let Harmony Ginger in the clubhouse? I know, right? Oh. Josh, a good mapper can get a good side hustle going selling copies. That's something I haven't considered. Yeah. He's been posting it in the Discord for free. So every party can see it. So I was told by some of the Bro SR old heads that my consequences for not paying monthly upkeep are the extreme hardcore version of the rules. So in AD&D, there is no guidance that we've been able to find about what to do if your character cannot make upkeep costs. And what I always did was I read the retainer rules, and the retainer rules, if you don't pay their upkeep, they just abandon you. And so I guess maybe I mixed it up in my head a long time ago, that if you don't pay your upkeep, your character abandons you. So I just have been retiring all the PCs who can't make their upkeep costs. And that is apparently an extreme take on the rules because everybody else is like, oh no, I just make them very broke. I take whatever coins they do have and then they live in squalor. So their disease checks will be higher. But the issue with that is the rules say the PC will pay no less than that number, than 100 gold per level per month. And so if it's no less, then how is it that we're going to accept less? I don't think we should accept less. I think that if you can't make your payment, your character goes back to farming. You've gotten tired of the adventuring life. You need a safe job as a leather worker. You were 7 when I was 20. Is that right? So everybody, that's my mom. Audrey, she says, you were 7 when I was 29. Okay. Yeah. I don't remember 29 at all. Like, I don't remember it at all. Let's see. You need a suave leader to get people in gear. So Jack was the caller 2 sessions ago. I think he did a pretty good job. And then he passed it off to Jonathan, and Jonathan, you could tell he was role-playing a different character, but he wasn't commanding the group. And I really think, like, with that many players, you got to tell them, guys, you got to shut up. We got to do this. We got to go. But the more sessions you get, the easier that's going to be. Not telling people to shut up, but just knowing that you have to get moving. Yeah, and a bit vague on the consequence. I'm okay with the interpretation, though. I retired my own PCs when they couldn't meet upkeep. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's fine. Like, maybe it is the most hardcore rule, but everybody was freaking out on X. You're such a terrible... Why don't you talk to your players? How could you do this? I was like, I did talk to them. I told them we're playing by the rules. I'm hiding behind the rules is what it was. DM is a final arbiter anyway, so what is the critic's problem? The critic's problem is they think that I'm a bully for making players show up and game. They think that it's not fair. Yeah, what can you do, guys? But we're having a blast. That's the whole thing, is like, everybody's like, your game is terrible. I would never play with you. I was like, you weren't invited, but the people who were invited, they're having so much fun. We're having a blast. The idea that, yeah, we have to pay this number is motivating people. They're trying to like negotiate with each other. Like, could you help me and I'll give you some coins later? Like they're making plans. They're engaged in the conversation. I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the coin purse. Yes. Yeah. So today, checking out a bookstore with Roxy. We're gonna go get some barbecue. So I think I'm gonna end the stream in the next couple of minutes, guys. Thank you for coming. Thanks for listening to me rant about these old school rules that people cry about, like 1 HP on their fighters, rolling for hit points, and paying upkeep costs. There are so many more rules in the book that I use that would make people rage. And so as I bring up these rules on Twitter and people have meltdowns, we can have more streams just like this. But yeah, you can always just roll up a new PC. It's not the end of the world, right? I love how these people saying they would not play in your game is some big flex. It's like, okay, like random person I've never met. Whenever somebody says something really mean to me on X, in my brain, here's what I do. I imagine the most disgusting, fat, slimy person typing this out, like mouth breathing the entire time. And then when somebody says something really nice to me, I imagine the most beautiful, handsome, charming, amazing, cool person. And I'm like, yeah, this person is awesome. And they agree with me. Hey, my ear trumpet, dude, thank you for the membership. I appreciate that. Very awesome. And I'm sure R. Hampton is appreciative too. So yeah, guys, thanks for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. Same time next week, I will be streaming again. So hopefully we can all hang out again. Have a good one. Bye-bye.